with me today is Louise Cutler. Louise is a Fort Collins-based creationist, artist, vocalist, writer, and sculptor. Her work is motivated by her desire to create beauty that cultivates truth, peace, and harmony. Ms. Cutler considers one's art an extension of one's life. How one lives will reflect what you create. And Louise is also the curator of the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, which is showing from September 5th through 8th at the Opera Galleria in Old Town, Fort Collins. Louise, welcome to Snapshot News. Thanks for joining us.
Well, thank you for having me.
So this isn't the first year for the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. How long has it been going on?
Now, the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, this is actually our 5th year.
Wow.
I know most people don't know it here in Fort Collins, but this is our 5th year in Fort Collins. We actually started the show in 2020, and you know how that went.
Oh, yes. Oh, we had some social distancing going on and closures.
Yes. And so that's kind of what happened. We decided we were going to do the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, and we started contacting venues. And it originally was supposed to be at the Opera Galleria. We had gotten the okay, and then Opera Galleria closed, and then we transferred it to other places, and then slowly, everything closed. And so we ended up doing it as a live stream. So it was really cool. We did it all online. Yeah.
Oh, very neat. Very neat. So how many artists were in the first show? I'm getting you off the top of your head. Numbers from 4 years ago.
Yeah, that was quite a few. Yeah, I cannot remember. I think we probably had about 10 on the live stream. So it was really cool because they had to do all of their live streaming from their actual studios. So we had to train a lot of them to do live streams. We had to check their lightings and all of that kind of stuff. But it was really amazing because we had some great guest speakers come on board with us as well. And so it turned out to be a pretty fabulous show. And we did, we sold online too. So
very cool. Very cool. But this year it's all live, and there's an artist reception on Friday night.
Yes. During the art walk. So from 6 to 9, it'll be an art reception on that Friday. Yeah.
Very cool. Very cool. So, and tell me about how the artists are chosen to participate in the Beauty of Blackness.
Well, we jury the show because this is an all fine art, all original art show. So we do have a small boutique that is within the show that's run by the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. So you can get, if the artists have other things, you can purchase them through the boutique, and then a percentage goes to the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. But in their booth spaces is all fine art, all original artwork, because we wanted to create an all original artwork show where you're not looking at trying to figure out if this is a print or if it's this or it's it's all original artwork. So that's one of the things. That's the biggest difference with the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show is we wanted to do an all original fine art show.
That's really neat. And why, we were talking about this a little bit before I pressed the record button, but why, Louise, why are we doing just Black artists?
Well, honestly, when I thought about I've always wanted to do a fine art show because I'm an artist and I do a lot of fine art shows, and that differs from arts and craft fairs and things like that. And so I always wanted to do a fine art show. And so I wanted to do something here in Fort Collins, but I wanted to do something in Fort Collins that was different. And so, I could have just did a regular fine art show where it was just everybody, but would that be different?
No.
Right. And so I wanted to do something a little different. And I know a lot of people, I've had friends and they were like, why are you doing it in Fort Collins? Do it in Denver, do it in here. But Fort Collins is an amazing town and it's absolutely beautiful. And it's a quaint space. And so I'm like, I want to do something that draws people to Fort Collins. And so I decided to do the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, for one, because of the low percentage of Black Americans here in Fort Collins, to help also give them a voice and to bring light to that population and share the cultural heritage, the rich cultural heritage that is within the Black American community.
Yes, yes. Absolutely. And I think, too, that your show has to increase the visibility of Black artists in that show, either in galleries or museums.
Yes.
And that, because it's rather low. It does not reflect the, one statistic I saw said that nationwide it's 1/5 of Black artists represent 1/5. If they were represented, okay, I'm going to start this over.
Right. Just collect it.
If Black artists were represented proportionately in galleries and museums, which they aren't, they're only represented proportionately by 1/5.
Right. Right. And it's very low. And so that's the other reason I do it, is so that I'm bringing attention to that. I curate art shows. I just did an art show in 2022 with the Museum of Arts. That was a culture preserved in the Black experience.
Yeah.
Also doing that so that I could shed light on the fact that the cultural narrative is so important. And it's like, because art is a preserver of history.
Yes.
And so if we're not collecting Black American art, then we're not collecting that cultural history either. So it's as if our cultural narrative isn't important enough to collect. And so for me, it's very important. And that's why I'm trying to do more and more and more of this, not just for the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show, but also curating shows with museums and other cultural institutions that reflect Black American history and Black American artists, because Black American artists do not just do what people consider quote unquote Black art. There is abstract artists, there's surreal artists, there are realistic artists. There's lots of Black American artists. They do the genre of art.
It's art.
Exactly. You're not, it's like putting it in a single category doesn't, it actually creates it makes it small. It belittles who and what you're doing. And so when we stuff Black American artists into a Black art genre, then people are like, oh, I don't really like Black art. It's like, you don't even know what it is. You don't even know what this show is about. I've had people speak on it and say things like, oh, your show is racist, or your show is this, or your show is that. And I'm thinking, how is the fact that I love my culture and want to share my cultural heritage considered racist?
Right.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I mean, yeah, it's kind of like if I decided to have a German or some sort of Celtic show, that's my background.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm like, have at it.
Anything.
Right.
Yeah. Let's go have bratwurst and sauerkraut or something. I mean,
bring it on, because I like sauerkraut. So.
Yeah. Yeah. There you go. I know. I like lots of different kinds of foods. So I mean, and art is the same way. If it's wonderfully done art, if it evokes an emotion, a feeling, that's what you want to go see. That's what you want in your home. That's what you want. And like you say, to preserve that aspect of the culture, that little snapshot view of it is important.
Exactly.
It's so important. Well, Louise, how long have you been in Fort Collins? If you're a native, you don't have to tell your age. But
yeah, we're not native. We've been in Fort Collins, I think, 14 years, between 13 and 14 years. We moved here from Colorado Springs via Chicago. And
wow. Well, there's a little difference between us and the Springs.
Yes.
The Fort Collins and the Springs.
There's a huge difference between Fort Collins and the Springs. And I really like Fort Collins. We lived in a college town in Illinois too, so this is like, oh, okay, it's got the same kind of vibe, similar vibe to it.
Yes, yeah, definitely. Are you affiliated with the university?
I'm not, but I do things with them. I am on the board for the Gregory Alucard Museum, so I do different things and help. My whole position there is to bring more awareness to the Gregory Alucard Museum. So I kind of try to link them with other entities that I'm also involved with so that we can bring more light to them, because a lot of people don't know that CSU has a museum.
And why don't you tell us where the Gregory Alucard Museum is and how to access it?
Okay, it's actually...
We'll plug lots of things.
Right, it's actually on Remington. I don't know the exact address, but it's in their creative arts building that used to be the old Fort Collins High School, and that's where all of their creative arts is. So you got the theater, you got the music, all of that stuff, and it's right there where this Campbell soup can is.
And it's a wonderful resource, and it's kind of
one
of those hidden gems in Larimer County, that we just don't think about.
They have some absolutely amazing exhibits there, and they actually just did a new one, and don't ask me what it is, but it's dealing with some cultural heritage, Native American And that just started. And so it's actually really
cool.
pretty fabulous. Yeah.
Really neat. Really
Yeah.
neat. So, and do you have children, Louise?
I do. I'm a boy mommy.
Oh, are you?
So I have all sons, and and they're all creative, which I
they?
love. Actually, two of my sons will be in the exhibit. One with some of his glass. He was a glass blower, and then my other son he may or may not be coming from Vegas because he's in the show, and I have all the artwork, but he's having his first child, and so
oh man, that's a
it's
tough
pretty
one.
close to the due date, so he may or may not be with us.
Well, we'll give him a pass. I think everybody understands that. That's neat. Yeah. Well, Louise, is there something that you always wish interviewers would ask you that they never do, and anything you'd like to share?
I don't think I think you've covered everything. I just want to invite people out to the Beauty of Blackness Fine Art Show. It's going to be a fabulous show. I've always wanted to do it at the Opera Galleria because that building is absolutely magnificent.
It's gorgeous, yes.
And so, it is September 5th through the 8th, and we're going to have some really cool stuff going on. We actually have a workshop that we're partnering with the Museum of Arts. So we have a workshop on September 7th that'll be going on at 11 o'clock with our featured artist, which is Deborah Shedrick. And then we have our fashion show that'll be going on that afternoon on the Saturday. And then I will be speaking on Sunday with my new children's book, The Ant and the Curious Little Boy. So I'll be speaking around 1:30 on Sunday. So yeah.
So be sure to stop by then.
Definitely. And we do have we have a little kids workshop that'll be going on too. We have a young lady that's going to be doing some really nice decorative rocks on Sunday that kids can come and participate in.
They would love that.
Yeah.
My grandkids would love that.
Yeah.
So I'll have to bring them. And now, if someone is listening to this after the 8th, can they just go to your website and find out more about your book or more about the exhibit?
Yeah, they can go to the website, which is www.thebeautyofblacknessfineartshow.com. And that's, and so it's thebeautyofblacknessfineartshow.com. And that's the same thing with our social media pages as well.
Okay. And we'll have all those links in the comments for the podcast. So.
Right.
So, yeah. Well, Louise, this has been so much fun. I'm so looking forward to the show and
me
to
too.
having you back to talk more about art in Fort Collins. I think this is, and Larimer County.
Yes.
So this is great.
Yes. So, because I am looking at doing more things here in Fort Collins to shed light. I just think it's really important.
I agree. Well, again, thanks for coming, and we'll be talking to you soon. And everyone out there, thank you for listening.
Thank you.